So here's the top 10 US New England prep programs as of 2022 as a 5-year average. Number 1, we got... What's going on, guys? Brian from Advancement Hockey Advising here. Today we'll be ranking the top 10 New England prep hockey schools as of 2022. All right, so we get questions all the time about which are good prep schools to look out for, which ones, should we go to, which ones to avoid, all this kind of stuff. Hopefully by doing this video here that we're gonna give you guys a solid top 10 of schools that you guys should really look out for. Now, obviously there's schools that we didn't include on this list that are also really strong, but these are the top 10 that if you go to these schools and you do really well, you will have a high chance of getting an NCAA D1 scholarship. One thing to really consider is that these are the really cream of the crop programs. We missed a few, like I said, but this pretty representative list as to what are the top programs you guys should look out for. Now, in terms of metrics as to what we used the 5-year average of the My Hockey rankings, okay? All the data was available, thankfully, for these guys. We didn't include the 2020 and 2021 season because of COVID-19, right? Because a lot of teams didn't get to play, yada, 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 all that stuff. But apart from that, we're able to at least include 4 years, a nice average, and to see where they consistently rank. And by doing that, we have a good idea as to which are the top programs that always have good caliber day in and day out. We tried to also include the metric for NCAA and junior advancements, but it was way too complicated. It was quite tough to find the data. Because of that, we chose not to, because chances are that if you're at one of these programs that are consistently in the top 10 and consistently rank high, chances are that the advancements will also be proportional to that. So that's why we didn't include them specifically in this ranking, but I think this will give a good idea as to what the top 10 programs are. Hopefully I don't get too many attacks on this and that my ranking isn't good, but hopefully that you guys appreciate this and get a lot of value out of this. All right, now before we dive into our list, as always, just a quick reminder to absolutely destroy that like button. And if you're new here and if you like this kind of content, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video moving forward. All right, guys, let's dive right into our list right now. Number 1 on our list here, and honestly, these guys blew everyone out of the water, and that is Salisbury. These guys are located in Connecticut, and they're a really top-end program year in and year out. And let me show you the exact stats here. So the past season, they ranked at number 1. For the season before that, they ranked at number 3. And then skipping a year because of COVID-19, the season before that, they ranked at number 1 as well. And then the season before that, also at number 1 in the My Hockey rankings with a total score of 6 here. So because of that, these guys are, it just goes to show if they're number 1 for 3 out of the 4 seasons and they're number 3 for the other season, that's just absolutely exceptional. And that just means day in and day out, these guys are the top program considered as for all the prep schools here. So Salisbury at number 1, pretty much a no contest here. All right, so number 2 here on our list is Dexter. Now these guys are a pretty solid number 2 as well compared to the number 3 here. They're quite a few points ahead. So let's just dive right into the stats here. Last season, they weren't as strong. They were number 7. Okay, so that's one thing to consider potentially as a factor. But for the season before that, they were at number 2. The season before that, they were at number 3. And then the season before that, they were at number 3 as well with a total score of 15. So obviously 9 points difference between Salisbury, but honestly a 15 overall score out of 4 years, that's a really solid score. And that means that they're consistently ranked pretty high. Based on what I've seen, they're a pretty consistent number 2 spot. There could be some argument for the number 3, but here I would say Dexter at number 2 makes a lot of sense. All right, now moving on to number 3 on our list here, which is a name that a lot of you are probably familiar with in the hockey world, and that is Kimball Union. These guys are renowned as a top program, and the stats do explain why. 4 for the past season, which is really good. Number 10 for the season before that. So that's where they probably dropped off a little bit because they had a bad season here, but the other seasons do make up for it. They got number 2 as to the one before that, and then number 6 for the one before that with a total score of 22. Because they're at number 4 this season and Dexter was at number 7 the past season, you could maybe make an argument for Kimball Union. They are very well renowned too, but I would say that 7-point difference between 15 and 22, it's too far of a gap for me to make an argument to make a jump over Dexter. So we're gonna keep Kimball Union here at number 3 in the rankings. All right, so number 4 on our list here, we got St. Sebastian. So let's dive right into the ranking here. Last season, they finished at number 5 on the My Hockey rankings. The season before that, they finished at 9. The season before that, they finished at 8. And the one before that, they finished at 10, okay? With a total score of 32. So that's a pretty big jump between them and Kimball Union, right? It's a 10-point difference. I'd say that's significant enough where it's just no contest that Kimball Union is number 3, and St. Sebastian's is number 4. So you really see like the elite school, Salisbury, Dexter, and Kimball Union. You could make an argument, but I'd say it's pretty good at number 2 and number 3, and then a big jump here between them and St. Sebastian at number 4 here. All right, so moving on to number 5 here is Cushing Academy. These guys are really strong, obviously have a really good reputation as well. The reason why I would say that they're at number 5 and not number 4 is because the past season they didn't do as well as St. Sebastian's, okay? So in the My Hockey rankings here, the past season they were at number 10 compared to St. Sebastian, that was number 5. The one before that, they were at number 7. The one before that, they were at 13, so that one really hurt them as well. And then the one before that, they were at number 5, okay? Giving them a total score of 35. So they're 3 points off from St. Sebastian's, but because some seasons they didn't do as well, that's what really dragged them down. If it wasn't for those 2 seasons, they probably could have been ranked a little bit higher, but because of that, they're ranked a little bit lower at number 5 on our list here. All right, so moving on to number 6 on our list here, and this one is where I might get a little bit of backlash, and we'll explain why in a sec it's at number 6, but it's a really renowned program, and that is Avon Old Farms, okay? Probably some of you guys are like, where are they? Why aren't they number 2, number 3, anything like that? I get it, and here's the reason why. So let's look at the My Hockey rankings. Last season, number 2, the one before that, number 1, okay? They beat out Salisbury for number 1 spot. So that does mean something. But if you jump to before the COVID seasons, okay, they were number 19 and then number 15, giving them a total score of 37. So those last few seasons really hurt them. And that just goes to show that they don't have that same kind of consistency as a top program like Salisbury, okay? Avon is also a really renowned, super high-end program, not saying they're not good, but because they had that lack of consistency, if they would have been super consistent and been, you know, number 2, number 1, number 3, number 1, they could have had a spot against Salisbury for that number 1 spot. Because of those past seasons kind of weighing them down, right now they're at number 6, but who knows, when we rank them moving forward next year, if they continue to be a powerhouse, then maybe they're going to jump up to number 3, number 2, or even maybe number 1 past Salisbury in the future. So stay tuned for that in the following year's rankings. All right, so moving on to number 7 here on the ranking, and that is Noble and Greenhouse. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Honestly, we'll see, but that's how I've learned to pronounce it. I could be totally off. If I am, let me know in the comments down below. But let's dive right into the rankings here. So we got the past season at number 9, the one before that at number 8, the one before that at number 11, and then the one before that at number 17, which gives us a total score of 45, which is a pretty decent gap between them and Avon. And then the following team, there is a pretty decent gap as well. So I think these guys are a solid number 7. I've heard good things about this program. I don't know the coach that well, but I have heard good things about the academics, about the hockey program altogether. So really, you know, a good spot to go to at a solid number 7 here. All right, now moving on to number 8 here, and that is Lawrence. Now these guys, here's the problem with these guys. They're a really good program. Last year they had a bit of a rough season, so they were ranked at number 28 last year, which really hurt them. But if you look at their history, before that they were at number 4, before that they were at number 9, and then before that they were at number 12, which gives them a total score of 53. If they were like relatively high, let's say in the top 10 this recent season, they'd be way higher in the rankings, but because of this past season, it really hurt them. I know they're a really well-renowned hockey program, so hopefully this was just a one-off and it's not a continuing trend for the following seasons. We'll stay tuned for the next year's rankings to find out. All right, so moving on to number 9 here, we got Brunswick. Now for these guys, it's the opposite story. These guys have been recently quite strong, and hopefully they continue that trend to rise higher in the rankings, okay? It's more their past that was okay. It wasn't like anything bad, but it was more okay. Recently they've been stronger, so hopefully they continue that trend. So let's dive into the rankings with them. We got number 6 for the past season, which is really good. Number 12 for the one before that, which is also quite good. Number 27, so before the COVID year, number 27, which is, you know, it's not up to standard. It's still not terrible, you know, but it's not up to standard compared to the last couple years. And the one before that, number 16. So I'm getting the feeling that Brunswick's more of a recently strong program. Hopefully they continue that trend, and if they do that, they'll rise higher in the lists for the following year. So we'll stay tuned for that as well. Last but not least, at number 10 on our list here is Northfield. So these guys have an opposite trend that may be a little bit concerning, but we'll see. If they turn it around, if things go well, maybe they'll stay on the list, but we'll see for the following year. If they do, it depends how they do. Here's the most recent season, they got a score of 22, okay? The season before that, it was 30, so really not that good. But the seasons before that, before COVID, they were really strong at number 5 and then at number 11, giving a total score of 68. So it really depends for these guys if they're gonna stay on the list or not for the following year, if they really have a good year this year. So stay tuned for that list this year. You'll find out if these guys actually stay on or not. All right, guys, let's just do a quick recap of the list here. So here's the top 10 US New England prep programs as of 2022 as a 5-year average. Number 1, we got Salisbury. Number 2, we got Dexter. Number 3, we got Kimball Union. Number 4, we got St. Sebastian. Bastions. Number 5, we got Cushing. Number 6, we got Avon Old Farms. Number 7, we got Noble and Greenhow. Number 8, we got Lawrence. Number 9, we got Brunswick. And then number 10, we got Northfield. All right, guys, that's a wrap for the video. Hopefully you got some value out of this. I think this list came out pretty accurate, honestly, as to the top programs. Hopefully you guys did too. If I missed some of your favorite US prep schools here, feel free to include them down below. I know I'm probably gonna get a couple comments, a bit of backlash as to this school. Like, why isn't this school on? Why is this school in the top 10? Hopefully you guys understand and you get some value out of it and you know which programs to go to moving forward. If you like this video and if you haven't already, I really urge you guys to absolutely destroy that like button. It really goes a long way for the algorithm and for more people to see this content and for more people to know which prep schools to look out for in the New England area in the US. Also too, if you're new here and if you like this kind of content, you want to see more, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video moving forward. If you have any questions, anything you want to talk to us about whatsoever, feel free to drop a comment down below. And if you want to message us privately, send us an email at info@ahadvising.com and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching and we'll catch you up on that next one.